বেসিক জ্ঞানটা হলো মূল জ্ঞানটা হলো ডলারের মতো। ধরা যাক আমেরিকার একজন ব্যক্তি 100 বা $1,00,000 কাউর জন্য পাঠালো বাবা মার জন্য। এখানে ওনার বাবা মা যেখানে যেমন প্রয়োজন সেখানে তেমন খরচ করতে পারবে। ধরা যাক ছোটো ভাইয়ের জন্য বড় ভাই পাঠালো $1,00,000। সমগ্র বিশ্বে যেখানে তার যেরকম দরকার সেভাবে খরচ করতে পারবে। ঠিক বেসিক নলেজটা হলো, বেসিক জিনিসটা হলো যেখানে যতটুকু প্রয়োজন সেখানে ততটুকু কাজে লাগিয়ে বাকিটা ভবিষ্যতের জন্য রাখা। Basic especially means I should share with you something. If you can acquire this basic quality, you can apply it for your examination purpose. Number one. Number two, you can apply this thing for the purpose of admission anywhere you like most. But in Bangladesh, there is any one top GPA holder, GPA 5 holder, and in this section you can apply your quality and capacity. Obviously result is essential and it is called as basic. And for BCS examination, other competitive examination to get job in job market, you cannot acquire basic quality overnight. It will take a long time. For this reason, of course, I should share with you. Therefore, you can acquire basic quality. And language. Of course, I should share with you something language, especially the language which you cannot apply or cannot speak, do not speak, do not write, do not apply, do not use. This particular is the language may be your mother tongue, and after some years you may forget. Burning example. Suppose especially your language is Bengali, you are speaking Bengali with your kith and kin relative, mother, sister, father, etc. But if you live in Brunei for 10 years or any Arabian country, and within these 10 years you did not practice Bengali at all, after 10 years you return to your motherland to meet with your mother. But you are interested to speak with your relative, kith and kin, mother, father, sister, brother, other relatives. On that time, automatically Arabic sentence will come. But if you try your best to say something in, especially in Bengali language, this language may not come. But you need to practice this again Bangla. After it you may speak. For this is the reason, of course, I should share. Bangla is our native land, mother's language. But if you do not practice this in Bangla language 10 years, after 10 years, that if we are interested to use this language is the power of language will not stay with us. So any language of the world I should share with you will be dead language if you do not apply it. For this reason, the person who are user of language, you must practice yourself deeply. The students, especially of us who are reading in different section, I should share with you one thing, that you should acquire fundamental quality, basic quality. Basic is the knowledge, but you should not put any work for tomorrow. Bankers do not put any work for tomorrow, and the work of today will be done by the bankers today. Tomorrow has its duty, whatever might be. Therefore, I noticed one day, as I have some especially that is called work with manager, I said my Maghrib prayer with that particular manager in the bank. The bank was closed. After Maghrib prayer, the bank officer gave me that file for which I was waiting. That particular bank manager performed his work as imam, and I stood behind him with other bankers. After especially Maghrib prayer, I noticed the bankers started their work together, and bearing pleasant memory, I returned home. But this thing I read, banker does not put any work for tomorrow from Dale Carnegie Samagro. Of course, the person who are listening my voice, you can complete some books you are getting: Shakespeare Samagro, Luther Roman Samagro, Dale Carnegie Samagro. Again, Shakespeare Samagro, Luther Roman Samagro, Dale Carnegie Samagro. You are also encouraged to read Tazkiratul Awliya and Tazkiratul Anbiya, other religious book of the world, by which you will be able to get lot of thing. You can also collect especially Quran in Bengali, then you may read top to bottom. You can easily understand this matter, what Allah has said. I have also English collection, and this collection came, one book from Saudi Arab, another book was published in England, another book was published in America. But this three book in English is the version which came to me, and they translated is the Holy Quran only. But Quran is cannot be obtained, in any other version except you are getting Arabic language. But only translation can be found, and this particular is the Holy Quran, I think, had already been translated in many languages of the world, and the person who are citizens of different countries, they got opportunity to especially know the information of Allah in their mother tongue. For this reason, I would like to encourage the students and learners and guardians, different aged person, for all classes of people I should share. You can essay collect, and if your best friend will write you a letter, you read the letter once, twice, thrice, more than this time. But especially Allah is our best friend. Without the permission of Allah, mercy of Allah, no one would be able to go to heaven. So are you not interested to read what Allah has said in His Quran? Whatever is might be, of course, you are requested to know this particular information. You can take earthly education, and you can gain many degrees. You are getting is promotion after promotion after promotion. In Bangladesh Bank, you can be governor if government appoint you. Serving in especially that is called Bangladesh is army, getting commission rank. If your luck favors you, and especially if government approve you, you can be chief of army staff, chief of police staff, chief of navy staff, chief of air staff, and you can also perform your task and action by going different countries of the world to become especially ambassador. You can work, and there is the biggest post and highest post in the whole world. You are getting Secretary General. You are getting UN, United Nations. So after this, there is no post in mundane world. But ultimately, we must understand one point: the person who is Secretary General, Allah also created him, and he is best creation of Allah. Other person is whom we are noticing throughout the whole world, different posts who are working. Of course, all of us had been created by Allah. Open the Quran and read the autobiography of especially Pharaoh, Namrud, Haman, other justice personality. Obviously, you can easily understand their power position did not stay in mundane world century after century. In time, their power and position had already been shallowed by the help of time, destroyed. As Allah mentioned is more than 300 years, 3,000 years ago. Probably my sentences may be wrong. So far I can remember, Pharaoh especially reigned his country for a long time, and after the death of especially that is called Pharaoh, his dead body was preserved by the mercy of Almighty for the learning of common people of the world, all classes of people. These very men who became a faithless traitor did not disobey the dictation of Allah. On the contrary, look at here, his wife, life partner, they used to live under the same roof for a long time, and especially she got the ticket of heaven of mundane world, and she got the dress of Allah from the heaven. On the other hand, of course, especially this another is the lady you are getting, Hazrat, especially that Ibrahim Islam is his second wife, Hajera, mother of Ismail. This lady got ornament from the court of Almighty. In this and that, I should share with you something. Idris al-Islam, who used to observe his Roja throughout the whole year, and Allah sent for him Iftari, Sehuri, for this is the person. In this and that, of course, the person who are topmost is fortunate, lucky, they got many things from mundane world. But the person who especially lead perverted life, the life is what they wanted to perform, and it is not life at all. I have seen especially from the phone, just from this phone, and from different sector and section, many persons of this country who are leading their life in perverted section. But I would like to request them all to come back from perverted life and start your journey and be married and be wife of so many persons. Lead your conjugal life happily. You must have motherhood. A day will come for you when the dead body of you will be raised at the grave. Later on, your dead body will be buried, not only yourself but also all of us. So on this is very time, on that is very time, you will not have youth, you will not have your supporter, you will not have your kith and kin, relative, etc. Even if you do not have any kids, I mean sons and daughters, there may not have been anyone who will stretch their hands to the court of Almighty for forgiveness. For this reason, the person who are engaged at present in immoral action, who are especially performing this task, different is the forbidden places of this is the country, you may come back is from that place. Though the number of forbidden places in Bangladesh are 14, government gave them license who are interested to perform this task connection, but I would like to share with you, youth of men, youth of women is not permanent, it is also temporary. But especially permanent life will come for each of us, of course, in the life of grave as well as at the day of last judgment, the person who will be able to settle themselves in the heaven of Allah, they will especially get peace and tranquility. On the contrary, who are especially that is called disobedient of Allah, perform bad activities of all bad activities in this world by being disobliged, disobedient, disloyal, you can easily understand what kind of punishment will come for them. Open the Quran and know everything. As different age of person, especially many says, Sagasas person and saint, prophet, different classes of person is give instruction. Similarly, I will request all classes of person who are doing this action is in this section by throwing dust into the eyes of your parents. Without doing it, you can get married and settle yourself happily. Continue education properly and do not do such kind of perverted task connection. It is totally forbidden by Quran. Look at here what is written. Read the Ramayana, the Tripitak, the Mahabharata, the Rigved, the Ringved, the Veda, other religious book, the Quran, the Hadith you are getting, and the Bible. Everywhere this such kind of especially perverted life I should share with you is not supported. And especially beginning of this world up to this period, how many years disappeared, it is impossible for me to tell you. But question is that it is going on for a long time. It is continuous process. The person who are staying in mundane world at present, doer of bad action, and in course of time they will go. All of us shall go. Another group of person to perform the same task connection. As I especially learned that is called more than 200 years at the Olodia. The worker who are rendering their services, especially immoral work connection, and in the chain that there are so many justice, especially ads which come through net connection as well as Facebook. I regretted for this action, and I could not go to them to invite them to come under the umbrella of Islam. It is impossible for me to go. But the person who are listener, I don't know whether any one of you would be able to get this opportunity to listen my voice, my video. But the student of Bangladesh and other professional person, you are requested not to perform your perverted task connection or illegal activities connection. And remember, I am not mine. You are not for you. What does it mean? Reason. All the parts of my body shall tell is against me. All the parts of your body shall tell against you at the day of last judgment. So there is no way on the part of us to especially elope from the reality and from mundane world. Now I was consulting about the villains of literature. It will be highly helpful for your admission battle to know many things, including rearrange as well as fill in the gaps. Hamlet. One of the remarkable drama of our dramatist is William Shakespeare, and this particular drama earned reputation throughout the whole world. 37 dramas had been composed by the same dramatist: comedy, tragedy, revenge tragedy, romantic comedy, pure comedy, whatever it might be, also sonnets. And in this section I should share with you something. King, especially that is called Claudius, killed his own elder brother. Villain Claudius killed his own elder brother by pouring poison into the eyes of Hamlet's father. I mean Claudius' elder brother. In this way he killed. Forcibly or threatening, by giving threat, he married his especially Gertrude. In this and that he especially started his conjugal life. On that time Hamlet was 27 to 30 years old, was a student of Wittenberg University. But this particular villain declared This man, his elder brother, was killed at the hand of snake biting, but originally he himself was snake. It was being proved especially by Hamlet, of course, where is getting by applying the drama My Step. In this My Step, this particular person named Claudius was caught red-handed. Whatever might be, we are especially getting everyone for himself, Chacha, Punja and Bacha. It cannot be denied, refused or rejected that and especially King Claudius, present king of Denmark, wanted to kill his Hamlet to make his path clear. On the other hand, according to Christian mythology, if a special innocent man is killed, until and unless he is taken, that is called he gets punishment, is revenge, that particular his soul that cannot get pleasure, satisfaction in the grave. For this reason, Hamlet took decision to take revenge. Obviously, Hamlet was not artificial, commercial, superficial. Hamlet was originally good man, gentle, polite, magnanimous. He especially thought this special ghost may have been evil force. Throughout the whole country, the persons who are students of English literature, business candidate for various kinds of job market, obviously you can understand, including other students of both SSC, ACC, different sections who are reading throughout the whole country as well as other parts of the world. Obviously, all of you may listen. Whatever might be, King Claudius is especially proved in the choice that is called his elder brother was killed at the hand of snake, but Hamlet thought Claudius himself was a snake. Claudius himself was a poisonous snake. Claudius himself was a dark-natured person, ugly-natured person. But Catute and Claudius began to live together in the same room under the same roof. But Catute could not understand especially the nature of Hamlet, his uncle, Claudius. But he was so mysterious one. Various kinds of mystery was especially hidden in his nature that but this thing will be revealed today or tomorrow. No sinner especially can remain sinner, obviously and in the end that he was especially trying his best to destroy the future of Hamlet. Last and final, Hamlet could take revenge of his father that you are getting. Whatever might be, I congratulate all the persons who are listening. Now let me discuss with you Macbeth. Macbeth is another remarkable contribution of our dramatist himself. Of course, here is getting William Shakespeare. And Macbeth was good man, gentle, polite, magnanimous, and generous. He had especially all-round quality for which King Duncan liked him very much. Duncan especially was cousin of Macbeth. Macbeth was cousin of Duncan. Macbeth especially got promotion because of his especially bravery, and he got his promotion. He got special reception. He got his he became he got opportunity to become his administrator. But in spite of his getting the especially prediction of the wishes, Macbeth shared this thing with Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth became very greedy, wanted to notice herself as Queen of Scotland, and she wanted to make her husband king. Forcibly, she compelled her husband to kill sleeping King Duncan. King Duncan was killed, it is sure, but Macbeth became king of this country, Scotland. But murdering after murdering, going is the one. Peace and tranquility became his upset, of course, there is getting. Lady Macbeth is responsible to compel her husband to kill his sleeping King Duncan. Obviously, Macbeth was also wrongdoer. Dear listener, the person who are listening among the students, if anyone will tell you to harm anyone, will you harm? No. Since you cannot harm anyone, similarly, especially Macbeth could reject the proposal of Lady Macbeth by saying in the choice, it is not possible on the part of me to do this action. Whatever might be, your husband is general, army general, you do not have any want, crisis, or any especially sorrow, suffering, distress, agony, pain. But Macbeth's lack was not appropriate. For this reason, especially Lady Macbeth insisted her husband to murder his sleeping King Duncan. Lady Macbeth especially performed this task and action became his queen. In the meantime, Lady Macbeth lost his sanity. She became a mad, of course, especially Lady Macbeth died pathetically. On the other hand, Macbeth didn't have any kinds of special change in his mentality, and on the other hand, in order to stay in his power, of course, he became desperate. By this and that, of course, Macbeth is especially said from the what he learned from the wishes, no especially person would be able to murder him who gets his birth from a lady. But especially King Duncan's son came to Macbeth and said, I was taken from the womb of mother before the time. So I did not come to this CC world through normal delivery. And be ready, Macbeth, I will especially kill you and to take his what revenge of my father's killing. Macbeth became afraid he could do nothing. In the and that Macbeth was killed. From here, our dramatist species tells us, do not be so greedy in this world. Whatever you get, you should have especially patience and depend on Creator. Whatever Allah gives you, you must not especially cross your limitation. If you cross your limitation, suffering, sorrow, distress, agony, pain will come. Obviously, you are getting thousands of examples from different angles from the history of Islam. The person who got opportunity to read is Wuthering Heights, written by Emily Bronte. This particular lady, I show him respect by lifting my forefingers up to my forehead. Because of her outstanding quality, who portrayed the human nature befitting the manner, as man mind is changeable, woman mind is not unchangeable. When how inherited such kind of change comes, and by changing his mentality for doing his bad action, obviously catastrophic war action, suffering, sorrow, distress, of course, may come, may fall down for you, for us, etc. For this reason, we should have especially must have considering quality, we must think what is the consequence or result of our action. But if we cannot especially think in this and that, as Heathcliff especially was a Tokai means especially a floating boy, came at the house of Mr. Arnshaw, and on the other hand, he was especially he was a mere boy, nothing else, used to pass his time, of course, with a little Catherine. But especially Catherine's brother could not tolerate this thing. So many things happen in this particular book, novel. You are being encouraged to read, and this particular person, Heathcliff, once upon a time, who occupied this especially that is called occupied this leadership of both the family, Mr. Linton family, as well as you are getting the family of Mr. Arnshaw. Finally, this particular person was reciprocating her love affair with a married lady named Catherine, and especially who was wife of Edgar Linton. Edgar Linton could not tolerate such kind of pathetic side and change of especially his wife. Warned his wife frequently requested her not to perform this task. Whatever might be in each, you can notice especially Edgar Linton and Heathcliff. Both of them quarreled severely, and in this and that a change did not come. And on the contrary, we are getting Catherine, especially became sick mentally. Her sickness is increased. In course of his time giving birth a daughter, she especially left the world. We are getting Heathcliff began to beat his chest and forehead. Heathcliff began to weep severely and seriously. Heathcliff was passing his time, of course, in mourning action, elegiac action, of course, it is getting. In this and that, Heathcliff had no any mental happiness. Could not get any joy, merriment, peace, tranquility. Whatever might be, I should share with you something. It was his illegal love. Gache bel pakile tate kaker ki. But Heathcliff especially liked Catherine, it is sure, but Catherine was married this lady. Heathcliff could come before the marriage of course, it is getting named Catherine, but he could not come. After the marriage of Catherine with Edgar Linton, Heathcliff came. In this and that, especially he created terrorism, anarchism, suffering. We are getting. And such kind of activities and action is not supported. Emily Bronte strongly slapped on the cheek of Heathcliff severely and seriously. Catherine especially became also addicted to her marriage lover, but before her marriage she said nothing. Edgar Linton said to Catherine, Catherine, you have become my wife, my life partner. In the meantime, you have gotten a child. So you could easily just take decision before my marriage or before our marriage. Why did you marry me? Did I do any wrong issue with you? Catherine said, no. Did I marry you forcibly? No. Did I marry you just especially like a that is called as a movie marriage? No. Did I just go anywhere is with you, taking you by dancing, merrymaking, singing, staying is near the sea beach? No. Did I just go taking you near the riverside on the bank of the river? No. Did I just especially travel together in a flower garden? No. Did I do any pervert connection is even for a while or electron portal? No. So why have you changed your mentality? It was the question of course, where is getting home. That is called as a your is getting name. What is the name of this is the person? Edgar is Linton. Whatever is might be, and in the and that this particular is the person. I mean, just Catherine is especially said herself. তবু কেন তাকে মনে চায়? তবু কেন তাকে মনে চায়? Illegal love affair, of course, here is getting. In the and that this particular is the person, of course, involved is herself is perverted life. Last and final, Catherine is became very sick and left the world breathing her last. It is very sorrowful matter, but to that is love is especially cannot be denied. But on the contrary, illicit appear cannot be accepted. Is জগতের মেম করো পরকীয়া প্রেম ভাবো না তোমরা কিছু খাদিজা নবীকে ভালোবাসি তো খেত না একা কিছু কাপুরুষের দল খেতে চাও মল ঘরে রাখে লিচু বাজার থেকে কিনে খেতে যাও পচা আলু আর কচু গাছে বেল পাকলে তাতে কাকের কি But here, especially Heathcliff did gross mistake, especially by going at the house of Edgar Linton to meet with his wife Catherine. In the and that, of course, this particular person lost so many members, both the side of the family, Linton family, as well as especially Mr. Armstrong's family. In the and that, he became very old, sick, tired, etc. He had last intention to be buried near the grave of Catherine. Thus he proved especially that is called as his love affair, illicit love affair, illegal love affair with this particular lady. And of course, such kind of question you can find in the examination. Written by Emily Bronte. Name of the special villain Heathcliff. Name of the book you are getting Wuthering Height. Dear listener, last time is the final. I am going to discuss something about Tempest. Tempest is especially very famous book in English literature by the same dramatist. But here, Prospero was very good, gentle, polite, handsome, especially man, and who had a daughter named Miranda. But he liked his books and books. He told his younger brother Antonio to look after his country, and he became busy to study his books, to read his books. But this particular person is Antonio made conspiracy against his own elder brother. In which and that he especially started to take steps to drive him out from his dukedom. Then Prospero with his 3 years old daughter came to an island. By the by, after this and that, especially I should share with you something. Both father and daughter were living in that particular island, making a gorgeous house. This particular person is Antonio. Last and final, he was caught red-handed at the hand of his elder brother. Elder brother trusted his younger brother properly, perfectly, showed affection. But Thomas's simplicity cannot bring for us any fruit. Thomas's simplicity may bring his especially destruction, not joy, but especially agony, not especially helpful thing, happiness, but unhappiness. However, he might be, especially Prospero could not understand this matter, what he was doing. King Lear dug his own grave. King Lear dug his own grave and he entered into it. Prospero also dug his own grave, he entered into it. We are getting Earl of Gloucester, a person who did gross mistake with the mother of Edmund, he dug his own grave. Thus he had to suffer his mass. King Claudius, we are especially getting killed his own elder brother, of course, without any reason, and by being especially greedy for home, for Gertrude, and for royal power. In the and that, of course, especially pathetic end came in the life of him. Pharaoh is showed his power in this is world of person, especially his dead body is being kept at Missouri Museum. Obviously, we know, and this particular person who did various kinds of perverse connection, did shirk sin. Before his death, remembering the especially mercy of Allah, he wanted to perform tawbah. He couldn't do it because throughout his whole life he did bad action. For this reason, burning example especially came in this life. He is suffering his mass, but Allah kept his dead body as usual, so that the people of the world who are misguided can understand this matter about the person and who did gross mistake especially in his life. Researcher, especially that is called researched his dead body. One of the researchers said he got his salt in his body. It means this person Pharaoh died by drowning in a river, sea water. So especially, and in the and that this particular body is being kept thereon. For about cemetery, I should share with you all the world. Allah is owner of the whole world. Allah has created us, given us many things in this world. So we should be grateful to Allah. We cannot be ungrateful to Allah. In measure for measure, of course, getting is the power and position is especially this and that. You all know, acting duke is became dishonest. His dishonesty was caught is especially red-handed by the original duke. Exemplary punishment is came in this and that. In this and that, especially in this drama, our dramatist showed how a man can be changed getting his power. How a woman can be changed getting power, position, education, economic stability. In this and that, so many examples are obtained for both men and women. Obviously, justice in this world is dominated by men. Women, especially of course, are inseparable part of human life or mundane is the world. Nazrul supported is especially women that as I told my previous videos. Half of the works of this world are done by men. Half of them are done by women. Of course, there is getting. Muhammad Sallallahu showed his due respect to women, and especially thrice is for a mother. Only one time is especially for father. And Dr. Zakir Naik is a famous orator of the world of person. He said this especially once, twice, thrice for mother. One consolation prize is given for father. Of course, there is getting. Whatever is might be, satisfaction of Allah basically depends on the satisfaction of father as well as satisfaction of mother. We must know how to show respect to them. By this is why we can just get recommendation of our Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Dear readers, listeners of different angle, the person who are getting opportunity to listen my voice, we must not make conspiracy, must not make any intrigue, must not make especially machination against anyone. Of course, there is getting. You can survive in mundane world like in Nawab Sirajuddaula. Like Nawab Sirajuddaula, you must not follow footprint of you are getting Ghositi Begum. You must not follow footprint of you are getting Mir Jafar Ali Khan. Mir Jafar Ali Khan is an adjective, of course, there is a get that is called as a proper noun, but Mir Jafar Ali Khan has become an adjective. From this point of view, you can understand this matter. Mir Jafar Ali means faithless stature. In the and that man is short-lived creature. Since we are short-lived creature, we must not forget the decision of Allah. What Allah has said is for us. We must obey the dictation of Allah, command of Allah. We should share, especially that is called our happiness and joy with all. And we also pray to the court of Almighty for those person who have already left our country, many countries of the world for pilgrims. Their staying is especially at present thereon. From tomorrow, Hajj will be started this ritual action. In the meantime, especially some dead bodies, we don't know whether they are buried in Kingdom of Saudi Arab or returned to Bangladesh or not. Many other guys and public who have come to this country, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in order to accomplish their Hajj. Almighty, today we pray to the court of Almighty, to the court of you, grant us so that it is possible on the part of us to visit Holy Raja Mubarak to perform his Hajj at least once, if you like more than this time, and so that it is possible on the part of us to get recommendation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to get is a chance and opportunity to read this kalama at the time of our departure from this world, and before our departure from this world, we are interested to meet with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in dream. Thank you very much. Thank you all.